Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, and welcome to another video on Marvel Strike Force. Now, today's video is going to be a little bit of a part 2 from a previous video that I had done concerning gold and G18 minis at the time. Some of you may have remembered this video. We're going to get to this photo because this is going to be really important about today's topic. But you may have remembered this video down here titled Unlimited Gold Potential, Insane Resource Management Tips with this thumbnail here. And so this is from a video that I did about 3 to 4 weeks ago. And this was specifically addressing the gold that we had coming in and also spending on G18 minis and why I thought that was a bad idea. Now, I still think that's a bad idea, but we're going to go even further, and we're going to be talking about this in the context of G18 minis. And I know that some people are going to disagree about this because this is going to be leading to the new Dark Dimension 6, but I want to go over all of my cases as to why I am not buying any G18 minis in the supply store and why I think that you should do the same. Now, before we get to the video, though, of course, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video. Hello everyone! Are you ready to take your math skills to the next level in the most interactive and engaging way possible? Then look no further than our sponsor for today's video, Brilliant.org. Brilliant is your one-stop destination for unlocking the power of math. With thousands of intuitive lessons and fresh content added every month, Brilliant offers the perfect platform for students, professionals, or anyone hungry for knowledge and eager to learn new skills. One of the most amazing things about Brilliant is the wide range of courses that they offer. Whether you're interested in computer science, data science, or general math, there's something tailored just for you. You can dive into the fascinating world of probability and statistics, explore mind-bending mathematical concepts, or even sharpen your problem-solving skills. Personally, as someone who loves playing around with numbers and spreadsheets, it's been a fantastic opportunity for me to brush up on my own skills and learn practical applications that I can use in real-life scenarios. But here's the best part. You can experience everything that Brilliant has to offer absolutely free for a full 30 days. Just visit brilliant.org/Boilon or click on the link in the description below to get started. And guess what? As a special bonus, the first 200 viewers will receive a generous 20% discount on Brilliant's annual subscription. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to unlock your math potential and embark on a journey of lifelong learning. And I want to start here. So this was a photo of my supply store at a random time. And I was looking at this, right? Actually, it's in fact still in there now. I just wasn't sure if I was going to get the recording in this quick or not. So what you can see here is two different sets of G18 minis that are worth 400K. Well, they're 200K each. So let's put that straight. That the G18s, I'm sure you know by now, are 200K a piece. The teal uniques are 125K, and the G17s are still 150K. It's a lot, honestly. What I do like, and I'll say for better or for worse, that there is more rows or more places that you can find this now. So that's good. And usually this top row is filled with either a unique, a G17, or a G18. Maybe a G16, but I think that's down here in the second row. But anyways, it doesn't really matter. Nonetheless, it's a little bit easier to find them in the supply store, so you're not like refreshing and wait. I mean, I still wouldn't recommend refreshing your cords, but nonetheless, it's easy to find. But this is a lot of gold that you're spending. Like I already went over like how little gold there is, and no gold has really increased in the game. The amount of gold that's coming in on a monthly basis, as far as I'm aware, hasn't really increased to any significant amount. Now, I kind of want to go back to this spreadsheet. We're not going to be going over the entire sheet. If you watched the other video, you may remember this. And this was I'm going to say my conservative gold total per month. The entire sheet has all of the breakdowns for all of the ways and the avenues that you get gold. I think where some people will debate me is probably the value that I put on the gold orb, which is fair. I put an average number for some of the gold orbs that you get per month. And so this is going to vary a little bit. But other than that, a lot of the other avenues that you do get gold is very strict. It's very specific. And so there's not much variation in there. The most of the variation does come from the gold orb. So let's just, based on this photo here, let's put some hypothetical examples. This is not even considering that you're buying G17s, but this is just one refresh. Let's say I bought all of this, right? That's like 925K in one refresh out of 3 per day. There is a very solid chance that you could spend 1 million gold easily a day, if not more. If you were spending if you're spending on Gear 17 minis and Gear 18 minis and the occasional uniques, depending on what pops up, you're going to have like no gold left. So let's just do this into a hypothetical, because this is really going to showcase sort of how much gold that you're spending per day. Let's say let's say you're buying like let's say you're buying 5 G18 minis. So that's 1 million gold, right? You know, so 1 million, and we're just going to add that in here, 3 more zeros. And let's say you buy like 2 uniques. Hypothetically, that's 250,000. So that's going to be 1.25 million. I'm just going to put up so you can see it a little bit better. So there's a little comma there. 1.25 million gold per day. That's not even including G17. So let's just assume that you're not buying G17 minis anymore. That's a lot of gold. And let's just say that it could be even more than this, frankly, but this is a very conservative estimate. Let's say you're just spending 1.25 million gold a day to fulfill the power cores, which is fine, but you're just only doing that in supply store. Keep in mind, this is not gold that you're spending on leveling. It's not spending it on anything else. It's just solely in the supply store. And that's where the problem lies, in my opinion. So let's just do this anyways and multiply this by 30 days. You're spending 37.5 million gold on those G18 minis per month or whatever extra. This is like the bare minimum. Like, it could be a little bit more. It could be a little bit less, but it's definitely, this is like an average amount, I would say, if you're someone who's going to be buying the G18 minis every time they pop up. Because I do see them fairly frequently. Again, this is still my store. It's the same as the photo, because I thought that given you can see the timer click down, I thought that maybe I wasn't going to get to the video quick enough. But it's pretty common for me to see, and here's the G17s there. Frankly, there's more of them down here. There's 3 rows. There's a lot of rows of teal gear, which is great for the availability, but not for the amount of gold. This is a massive gold trap. And that's what I think that this is. If you're buying the G17s, please stop it. There's just not enough gold to go around. Maybe if you're not someone who's in the position to be able to use G18s, you're not buying this. But if you're in sort of the account progress like I am, who is kind of just waiting on some of the newer stuff, then you're weighing that out. And I can't fathom this, because then it just leaves you with nothing. Now, you know, I realize that my gold estimate is probably a little bit conservative. It could be up to about 65 million, but regardless, this is still a ton of gold that you're spending per month that's not going towards anything else. And what's really important here is, let's just, whether it's 60 million or 65 million, it's not going to be much more than that, frankly. Let's just say that you are spending this divided by, let's just say 60 million. Just making sure I get the right amount of zeros in there. So that's 63% of your gold income per month is going towards G18 minis, if that's what you decide to do. That leaves you with the other 37% to spend it on leveling your characters, typically. That's probably what you're going to be doing with that. I mean, that's going to be the most amount of money. And that's not a lot. You know, so what is 37% of 60 million? Well, you know, it's going to be, or what's 37% left? It's not going to be a lot. It's going to be like less than 20 million gold. Or no, it'd be about 22.5 million gold, just to make the difference there. And how much does it cost to upgrade a full character? Well, to get to level 95, you're looking at about 20 million gold, which includes, this actually doesn't include Gear 18. This includes up level 95, Gear 17, and all the abilities. Is going to cost you about 20 million gold for one character to build. Okay? Let's understand that correctly. One character to build per month if you're spending this much on G18 minis. Not even including G17s. So with the amount of characters that we're getting per month, which is typically around 4, we're getting basically a character every 7 days, at least in the pre-release offers. And then, of course, the free-to-play versions come, you know, they're staggered. But you're going to be able to fully upgrade one character per month only to 95. Now, keep in mind, you don't need everyone to 95, so, you know, take that for what you will. But nonetheless, you know, there's not a lot of gold left over to upgrade your characters. And so that is the balance that you're having to strike by doing this, okay? If you invest in these G18 minis now, that's going to leave you with less gold to upgrade your characters that are coming out quite fast, and frankly, that you probably need to build most of these. Not all of them. You might be able to get away with not, you know, with skipping a few of them, but know that that's typically the trend of the game, is that you want to keep up with the newest characters. I've, you know, mentioned that mantra, you know, a lot of times, where it's really important that you're keeping up with the game's newest characters, and you're not going to be able to do this. So why are people doing this? Why are people buying this? Dark Dimension 6. Is Dark Dimension 6 important? It is important, but is it important enough to hamstring yourself of gold, and then basically leave you with not much left over to be able to invest in your actual roster? That is the biggest question. And I just want to say right now that 99% of us are not going to be entering Dark Dimension 6 in the first month. Honestly, I don't think that's going to happen because of the amount of characters that you need and the amount of resources that you need to get from this. I just don't think it's going to happen. For me, when I did Dark Dimension 5, I got in within the first, after 6 months, I believe. Because I think that the Dormammu was released in October, November of 2021. I'm just kind of looking back at my calendar a little bit here. And I believe that I did get him by about April. So I think it was about 6 months on that it took me to beat Dark Dimension 5. Now, was I buying some of these? I was probably buying them occasionally, but I wasn't buying them every time I could. And that was 150k then, which was, sorry, not 150k, it was the G16, so it was a little bit cheaper then. What were they here, like 80k? Something like that. I don't know if this ever changed, I don't remember now. But regardless, it wasn't as much money as now that they're asking for this, which is 2.5 times. Exactly, from 80k to 200k. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. And you need more of these than you did the other pieces. So let's just, for sake of argument, I don't know, let's just click on Rogue. I don't know if I'm probably not taking Rogue to G18, but anyways, we can use this as an example. So for her, you need, and let's not, I'm not even stepping here. You need 25 uniques. For some characters, this might be okay, but for brand new characters, that's a pretty big mountain to climb, because then you're going to need, what is it, 16, and then, 22 and 25. I don't know how it jumps like that for the, I don't remember now, from 16, 17, and 18. It's a lot of uniques for a single character, but let's click on here anyways. So you need 22 of each. So that's 44, right? And so let's just break that down anyways. You can do it right here on a calculator. So 44 minis that you need for one gear piece times 200,000. That's 8.8 million gold for just one equipment piece. The average character has about 3, I would say. Some of the top end characters have 5. Very few of them have 2. Most of them have 3 pieces. So let's just, for sake of argument, we'll say 3. And so that's 26.4 million gold just on minis that you're buying for a single character. Okay. All right. Now I know that, this isn't going to be the primary way that you're going to be getting these minis, but it's going to be a reasonable amount of them that are going to come from the supply store. The rest of them are going to be coming out of the incursion raid, which is going to be starting this week, and we'll have more to talk about that this week as well. But I just want to let people know that this is absolutely crazy, right? And so let's take that 26.4 million and go back to what a full character costs to raise, more or less, is about 20 million gold. So you're spending that much on G18 minis that it would cost to upgrade pretty much outside of Gear 18 to fully upgrade a character to 95. Just let that sink in. Honestly, really, really wild. How much they're asking us. The price is so high, and your daily gold is like anywhere from 1.5 to 2 million gold a day. And it's just, it's wild that you could spend your entire gold, your daily gold, simply in the supply store. And that's just not a good idea, because it gives you nothing else for anything. It leaves you nothing for anything else. And that's the big problem here. So where am I, me Boilon, where am I going to get my G18s from? I'm going to get it from the incursion raid. We can presume, without me even seeing the exact rewards in the orbs, you can presume based on what we're getting in Doom 3, for example, what we got for the G17 orbs. And so 60% at Doom 3.4 gives you about 3.5 of these teal elite orbs. And that's a pretty decent amount. So we can kind of compare that. Now, I know not everyone's going to be incursion raid 0.4 or whatever, right? It's going to take a little bit of time, but nonetheless, you can kind of open one of these orbs and it'll give you an idea of exactly what you get. And I'll just open one just for the sake of argument. So you do get 2 of these. And so let's just say that it's very similar. Let's say the next orb is very similar to this, and you're getting 2 G18 minis. I really hope it's not 1, but that'll be a separate conversation if that ends up being the case. Let's bring the calculator back up. So at a bare minimum, not including the other pieces, you're getting about, I don't even know why I brought this up, but it's going to be 400,000 gold, 2 G18 minis per orb if that's the case. If it's more, great. That means the value is even better. So for me, I'm getting 3.5 of these orbs, right? So take that times 3.5. I'm making 1.4 million, hypothetically, if they keep it the same. 1.4 million gold worth of minis per day doing my raids, my future incursion raids, if they keep it the same. So that means I'm not having to spend that. So whatever I would have spent in the supply store is now getting for free from just running the incursion raids, right? And that's where you're going to get the most amount of value, is working towards your teams with your alliance to get that. If you're not in an alliance that can do incursion raid, you probably aren't even thinking about G18s. But if you are, you should think about how much gold that you're going to be wasting away by doing this. And that's going to be some of the most important advice that I can give. I know there's going to be people that disagree, but unless you're sitting on like 300 million gold or something, it's just, you can't do both. And so you have to think about, I don't know why I was in the flower store. You got to think about what's important to you. Getting to Dark Dimension 6 like a week earlier before someone else, or you actually being able to build up the characters that you need that are coming out hard and fast. We're getting new characters every single week, and you need to think about where your gold is going. Hell, I'm wondering where the hell my gold is going. And I know for a damn sure that I don't have enough money to start putting into this kind of stuff outside of a couple of... Actually, I need that. But aside from that, I don't have the gold to put aside for any of this stuff because it's just way too much. The asking price is far too high, and I don't care, honestly, if I get into Dark Dimension 6 1 or 2 weeks earlier, but then I hamstring myself and don't have enough gold to actually upgrade the characters that I need to upgrade, especially with new characters coming out. Just my thoughts. Let me know in the comments down below what you feel. Obviously you don't have to take my advice, but I think that if you end up spending too much gold on G18 minis, you're going to regret it later. That's the end of this video, and until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.